Disaster, humiliation, the fall of a European king. These ain't our words. These are actual headlines from Spanish newspapers after Real Madrid's Champions League elimination. The shocking part, this team had Kylian Mbappé, the player that they chased for years, and he still couldn't prevent this embarrassment. In the next 10 minutes, we're going to break down exactly how Arsenal dismantled Madrid's superstars, why Mbappe's presence wasn't enough to make a difference, and why a big-name veteran played their last Champions League game for Madrid. If you thought Kylian Mbappé would guarantee success, wait till you see what happens behind the scenes.
Everyone thought that Mbappé would make Real Madrid unstoppable. The guy cost him a fortune, and he was supposed to be the final piece to win the Champions League again. But when they needed him most against Arsenal, he disappeared. Here's the craziest part. It wasn't only his fault. Mbappé has 0 shots on target in the first leg. That's his worst performance in a Champions League knockout game since 2019. Arsenal's defense didn't just stop him, they erased him. Ben White and William Saliba doubled up on him every time he touched the ball. They didn't give him a space to run, and when he tried to cut inside, Declan Rice was already waiting. Thierry Henry broke it down after the game. He said Arsenal knew exactly how to play him. They forced him wide every time, Henry explained. When Mbappé goes left, he's dangerous. But when Arsenal made him go right, that's not his game. It was simple, but it worked. Madrid kept trying the same thing over and over. Long balls to Mbappé, and Arsenal kept winning them. The bigger problem? Madrid's midfield didn't help him. Usually it would be Modric controlling the game, but with Valverde, Tchouameni, and Jude, they were just acting a little too slow against Arsenal's press. Mbappé kept making runs, but the passes never came. When he did get the ball, he was alone. Vinicius didn't stretch the defense, and Rodrigo didn't add too much. So Arsenal could just focus on Mbappé and shut him down. People would blame Mbappé, but watch the game again. He wasn't the issue. The system failed him. Ancelotti didn't adjust when Arsenal took away his strengths. The team kept forcing him to pass, even when it wasn't working. And by the second half, Mbappé looked frustrated. He started dropping deeper to get touches, but that only took him out of the dangerous areas where he usually strikes and makes his goals.
Carlos' tactics worked against Arsenal for years, but it fell apart. Fans are calling for his head, and it's not hard to see why. The game plan was slow, predictable, and Arsenal picked it apart. Real Madrid midfield, usually their strength, looked a loss. Jude and Valverde couldn't control the game, and Arsenal's young, faster players ran circles around them. Real Madrid created just 2 big chances over both legs. That's shockingly low for a team with Mbappé, Vinicius, Rodrigo. The midfield completed fewer progressive passes than in any other Champions League game this season. Without Modric at full fitness, they had no creativity. Arsenal's press forced mistakes, and Madrid kept the ball away in dangerous areas. Starting Modric in the first leg was a mistake since he's not in the condition to match Arsenal's energy. Madrid's attack were too slow, and Arsenal's defense had time to organize. Thierry Henry pointed it out. Arsenal's wingers work hard to keep Madrid's players wide, making their attacks easy to defend. There was a lack of a striker. Madrid didn't replace Benzema, and it showed. When Arsenal sat deep, there was no one to hold up a play or make runs in the box. Mbappé and Vinicius kept drifting wide, leaving no central threat. Arsenal's center backs had an easy job, just stay compact and watch for long balls. Defensively, it was even worse. Carlos' system relies on full-back pushing high, but Arsenal exploited the space behind. Saka and Martelli had freedom to run at Madrid's backline. The midfield didn't track back fast enough, leaving the defense exposed. Carlo didn't adjust even after Arsenal scored. He waited too long to make subs, and when he did, the changes didn't change the game. The second leg was worse. Madrid needed goals, but they played the same way. Slow build-up, hopeful crosses, and no urgency. Arsenal's defense stayed organized, and Madrid had no answer. Carlos' substitution came too late again, and by the time he brought on fresh legs, the game was already slipping away. The real problem? Carlo didn't adapt. Arsenal had a clear plan: press high and double team Mbappé, attack the fullback, and Madrid had no counter. Carlo kept hoping individual brilliance would save them, but Arsenal was way too well prepared. Even when Madrid had possessions, they did nothing with it.
The Arsenal game might have been the last Champions League dance for Modric. He carried Real Madrid for years, but against Arsenal, he looked tired. The pace was too much for him. Arsenal's midfielders ran circles around him, and for the first time in a long time, Madrid's midfield got dominated. Modric couldn't find space. Every time he got the ball, Arsenal's players swarmed around him. He usually dances past defenders, but this time, he kept losing possession. His passing accuracy dropped to 82%, way below his usual 90%. Modric created just one chance in the whole match. These are guys who's used to controlling the games, but Arsenal made them look ordinary. His lack of mobility hurt Madrid defensively too. When Arsenal countered, Modric couldn't track back fast enough. That left the defense exposed, and Arsenal took advantage. It wasn't just one bad game either. This season, his minutes have been managed carefully. Carlo knows he can't play every match at full intensity anymore. Against top teams, his legs just don't hold up like it used to. The Arsenal match showed that clearly. When Madrid needed the most, they couldn't turn back the clock. So what's next? Modric's contract expires this summer. The club is already planning for the life without him. Bellingham is the new star in the midfield, and Camavinga is growing into his role. Arda Güler is waiting for his chance too. The rebuild is coming, whether fans are ready or not. The weird part, this doesn't take away from what he has done for the club. Modric won everything with Madrid, but football moves fast. One day you're on top, the next day the game passes you by. Arsenal's midfield, Rice, Odegaard, Partey, outnumbered them, outran them, and outplayed them. That's just how it goes. Madrid's problem, they haven't properly replaced them yet. Bellingham is great, but he's not a pure playmaker like Modric. Camavinga isn't a passer like Kroos. But after the Arsenal loss, it's very clear they can't keep relying on the old guard of the past.
Carvajal wasn't even playing, and he stole the headlines. That's how bad things got for Real Madrid against Arsenal. During halftime, when Madrid was already losing, Daniel confronted Saka in the tunnel. Footage shows him slapping Saka on the head, chest, and clearly trying to get under his skin. Saka didn't take it well, and security had to step in before it got worse. For a team captain to act like that, especially when he wasn't even suited up, it shows just how frustrated Madrid was. This wasn't just some heated moment. UEFA couldn't actually suspend Daniel for it. The rules say players can get banned for taking part in a match when ineligibility to play if they cause trouble. The refs included the incident in their report, so the UEFA will definitely look at it. Daniel was already injured, missing games since October, and now he might miss even more. Not that it matters for his Champions League run. Madrid already is out, but it's still a bad look for a veteran player. The weirdest part, Daniel had no reason to be out there. He wasn't on their bench and wasn't in the squad, but he still felt he needed to confront Saka. Maybe it was frustration over how the game was going. Maybe it was Arsenal's dominance getting to him. Either way, it backfired. Saka didn't let it rattle him. He kept playing well, and Arsenal kept controlling the match. Meanwhile, Daniel just looked desperate. The incident sums up Madrid's whole night. They were outplayed, outworked, and out of ideas. And when a team's captain who isn't even playing starts picking fights at halftime, you know things are bad. It wasn't just Daniel either. The whole team looked rattled. Players arguing with the ref and Carlos standing there with no answer. The fans booing at the half. Madrid isn't used to this. They're used to being the ones in control, the ones other teams fear, but against Arsenal, they were the ones losing their cool. The fallout could be worse than just a suspension. Daniel is 32 and Madrid might start thinking about moving on from him. His injuries are piling up, and now this, not a good look for a guy who's supposed to be a leader. The club's already planning for the future, and looks like this won't help his case.
Real Madrid's collapse wasn't just one thing, it was everything. Even Carvajal lost his cool on the sidelines. Carlos said it himself, "We were not good enough. This is not the Madrid standard." Now, the club faces a rebuild. Modric might be done, and the team needs their strikers to step up. Bellingham and Camavinga are the future, but can they fill the shoes? So what's your take? Was it the coach, the players, or Arsenal just outplaying them? Drop your thoughts right in the comments. Drop your like and subscribe if you're liking our videos. And we got a lot more videos to come, man. We got the downfall of Neymar Jr. We got who's gonna win the World Cup. We got the greatest rivalries in sports history. And drop down comments of different videos that you guys want us to do in the future. And as always, we'll see you next time.